Here I am at the cemetery, on my lunch break from the office. Just a little something to cheer myself up after the morning session. It's full of nice people here. I know that because I basically grew up in a retirement home. Yeah, my grandmother was a nurse there, and she often took me to work with her. So, my favorite game was observing old people the way Jane Goodall observed gorillas. To me, they were just a different species. I really believed grandfather appeared in the world already wearing a cardigan, and that no elderly person was ever beautiful or stupid or got arrested for speeding unless the brakes failed. It never ever crossed my mind that they had once been children, teenagers, full of desires and terrible ideas. To me, they were born directly at 90. Do you remember the moment you discovered that old people were young ones, and that one day you will be old too? For me, it was a moment of sheer terror. Of course, the older you get, the more you realize that it's a privilege to become an ancient turtle, but that's another story. The thing is, people from a bygone era are the absolute masters of the art of enjoying time. Have you ever stumbled upon an Italian village festival where they dance outdoors to traditional folk bands? There, you can observe couples of a certain age executing bold moves that put the structural integrity of their artificial lips at serious risk. Watching them, you naturally wonder whether, at their age, you will possess that same vital spark. And if you even begin to feel a sudden wave of tenderness, please note that this happens for one reason only. You don't understand Italian. That is why I will offer a rough translation of the lyrics they are happily dancing.
Embroidered panties in black silk, to come out dancing in the evening, in search of the corkscrew. Baby, if you want to come along, I will pick you up at 10 o'clock, and then I'll show you my cozy mandolin. Baby, if you want to come onto the grass, you will show me your nice acoustic brass.
It's just how it is. When you're young, you are horny, but you spend half your time pretending you aren't, out of shyness and pride. At 80, you just want to honor the 5 different medications you took just to be there, dancing. But how can they be so happy at their age? Is it really enough to no longer be forced to work in the morning to live the day with a smile? It is undeniable that when you're young, you have the energy to travel around the world, but you have a 2-digit bank account. And when you are old, you can finally afford a cruise, but you have to bring your medical team with you. But what about the time in between? What about all the time when you finally begin to have an acceptable money-to-time ratio, yet you still find yourself on the sofa watching a video on how to be happy on YouTube? Could it be all the energy we consume by being obsessed with being something? In the gym, we are warriors. On social media, we are perfect. On LinkedIn, we are visionaries. With people, we are likable. In the office, high-performing. In bars, Instagrammable. It is a cognitive load that no species should have to endure. How many of us think that happiness requires energy, beauty, money, success? Yet those dancing pensioners have eliminated almost all the variables. First, they lose energy. Then they lose beauty. Then they stop being productive or relevant. And right then, they could just lie down and act old. Instead, they choose to put on their best dentures and recreate a society of lunatics ready to dance, to flirt, to argue over a seat at a bingo game, and put on a ridiculous shirt just to impress someone who has already survived 2 wars and 2 heart bypasses. They are angels in black silk embroidered panties speaking directly to our souls. Turn off this screen. It's time to dance, laugh, or do whatever absurd, kinky things people your age get up to. Anyway, my lunch break is over. Back to LinkedIn.